keep falling into stupid vices, you keep losing momentum. You're catching momentum, then you're losing it. You're doing well for a few days, maybe for a few weeks, and then you just fall the fuck off and you feel guilty. You then start to feel less self-belief. You don't believe in yourself as much because you're falling off. You feel as if you might actually be an imposter. And this is why. So, gonna get straight into it. This is off the dome. It's pretty simple, but you need this pointed out to you. So, standards. It is because your standards are not high enough. So, when it comes to your environment, when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your habits, your behaviours, your actions, your routines, your conversations, everything, right? So, you might hold yourself to a high standard when it comes to diet, right? You eat pretty decent. Or you might hold yourself to a high standard when it comes to the women that you're with. But these are only two aspects. The reason why you're falling off is because you're not holding yourself to the highest standard that you could possibly hold yourself to in all areas. Now, you need to think about this. The version of you that is in shape, has got an amazing business. You might even have a really good business right now, but your health isn't in check. But your mindset is in check. But you keep falling off when it comes to diet or fitness or any of these aspects. And this video is going to cover majority of them anyways. So you're in good hands, guys. Now, I'm going to start off with environment. If you're not holding yourself to a high standard when it comes to your environment, and I don't just mean people, I mean the places that you're going to. Maybe you go to a gym, right? And every single morning there's just that one guy and he's just, oh, it's raining, oh, it's freezing today, bro. And then you engage in conversation with this guy and you lower your standard. Why? Because you're engaging in a deep conversation with someone who has massive self-limiting belief, who is a massive procrastinator, a massive complainer, and might even shit on you for the things that you're trying to do. Now, these are things that can happen. People can genuinely suck energy out of you. And if you're letting people do that on a regular basis, brother, you're holding yourself to a low standard. Now, I don't mean just like fuck off, mate. I mean, just say to the guy, like, just put your headphones in, don't even listen to him, and just be like, yeah, mate, cool, and then just walk away. Don't engage in conversation, because the new version of you holds himself to that high of a standard that he doesn't have time, he doesn't have the energy, he does not even want to engage in conversation with this guy, regardless if it's to please him or not, regardless if you actually want to engage in conversation because he's funny. It doesn't matter if he's funny. You engaging in conversation with him is lowering your standard, and it is placing different thoughts. Now, remember I said thoughts. It's placing different thoughts into your mind that are going to take you away from the best version of you. And I've done this plenty of times. I've got friends, old friends, that they're funny, so funny. And sometimes I do slip up and I have a laugh with them. But I realise that after that, I don't really want to do as much work. I'm more inclined to swear more. I'm more inclined to say some stupid things. All because I engaged in some stupid conversation and having a laugh, but just daft, unnecessary things, right? Things that the old me would say, things that the old me would do, things that the old me would entertain. And by default, I am lowering my standard. Now, second can be women. Now, guys, I don't think a lot of you that are watching these videos are playboys and sleep with multiple women, but if you are, if you're sleeping with low standard women, if you're sleeping with women that will just fuck you easily, and they do the same with every other guy, you're lowering your standard. If you're settling for what you can get when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to a partner, just because she's a little bit feminine, or just because she's a bit kind, but the other aspects, she's kind of, her brain's kind of westernized, she's not going to give you strong kids, then you're lowering your standard as a guy again, just because you've got a scarcity mindset. Instead of raising your standard and being like, yeah, you know what, maybe I'm not even 100% that guy yet, but I'm going to become him. And in order for me to become him, I cannot be in a relationship with a woman that isn't going to help me progress. Now, environment's covered. I would say the places you're in, conversations you have, and the women you surround yourself with are definitely some of the biggest things. Now, your friend group, absolutely essential. If your friends are losers, you're going to be a fucking loser. Now, we've all heard, it's a big thing nowadays, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. People know this, people even preach this, but yet they hold themselves to a low standard when it comes to the guys that are around. You literally need to be holding the same standard for your friends as you are yourself. If you're not calling your brothers the fuck out for not being as high standard as you, then 1, you're selfish and you don't actually want them to do that well. 2, maybe you're a fucking pussy and you can't tell them straight. 3, maybe you actually need to cut them off because they can't take that external feedback, or they're not willing to raise their standard with you. Now, I have very few friends. I'm not interested in, like, guys reach out to me all the time trying to network. I'm not even interested, right? And sometimes I will make the odd exception because I'm like, yeah, he definitely looks aligned to me. But these guys might be entrepreneurs, they might have businesses, they might want to network, but I look at their thing and it's like they're not in shape. They're not in the gym. And it's like, nah, he doesn't look after himself in that regard. So I don't want him to be in my proximity. Maybe I will network with a new guy and he'll be talking about birds all the time. Oh yeah, look at her, this and that. When I'm trying to focus on the fucking business, I'll just cut you the fuck off. I don't care. Because I hold myself to a high standard and I hold everyone else around me to a high standard. Now, my close brothers are extremely high standard and we hold each other accountable massively. I call my brothers out for using fucking sauce. Like, that's because I hold myself to such a high standard and I want them to fucking win in every single aspect. Now, moving on from friends, conversations, now, you need to hold yourself to a high standard when it comes to your fitness, your health, your routines. But I'm going to cover the fitness and the health first. So, it's not just about going to the gym 3 times a week and just like, yeah, I'm consistent, yeah, consistency, like, preaching all these things that you've heard on TikTok. It is about genuinely putting in massive amounts of effort within your workouts. Now, past couple of workouts that I've done, I didn't give it my all. I gave it like maybe 90%. Today, I gave this workout 110% and it just put me in straight alignment because I held myself to a high standard. Every single exercise I was like, no, I'm hitting complete and utter failure. Every single exercise. Why? Because I hold myself to a high standard and the best version of me does not leave a rep in the tank. Why would he? Now that's 1. 2, skipping cardio, skipping this, skipping that. You should not be skipping any fucking exercise unless it's an immediate emergency. Why? Because it's about standard. It's not because the exercise is the end all and be all and it's the end of the world. It's because by you not performing that exercise and by you pushing it to the side and, oh yeah, just do it next week, it's not even that important, you're lowering your standards as a man. And that is going to carry and compound into the rest of your day. That's going to compound into when you go and do your work block, and instead of listening to brown noise or putting on noise cancelling headphones, you're going to listen to music, you're going to dance about, and you're not going to have full, deep, focused work. That's the way that it works, guys. Then you'll maybe go and have your post-workout meal, and you'll add in some sriracha and some this and that, instead of just adding in salt, pepper and paprika. You get me? And these things, these small little fine details all compound into one, especially when you're a high performer. When you're a high performer, you need to hold that standard in every area of life 24/7. Non-negotiable. Has to be done. Or you're going to fall off. That's what leads into falling off, right? If you can actually think back to the times where you have fell off, maybe you fell off now, and that's why you're watching this video. Think about what you done yesterday. Think about what you done a week ago. The day before you fell off. What did you do? I guarantee you there was something on your calendar that you pushed to the side that you didn't do. You lowered your standard in some regards. You might have had a very unproductive, terrible conversation with someone, and that's lowered your standard. Maybe something got into your subconscious. Maybe you stopped believing in yourself because something that someone said. Maybe you stopped believing in yourself because you ate some junk food, because you didn't go as hard in the gym, because you didn't practice what you preach, because maybe you are a coach, maybe you are maybe you're someone who preaches things to people, who helps people, right? And the advice that you give to people, maybe you didn't take it yourself and you didn't implement it yourself, and you are experiencing imposter syndrome because of that. Why is that? Because you lowered your standard as a person. That's the way it is, guys. So, by you lowering your standard for yourself, you're going to experience less belief in yourself and potentially imposter syndrome. So, food, the things that you eat. Let me put it this way, if you're not constantly thinking and acting in alignment with the best version of you, you're not going to feel, you're not going to act, and you're not going to actually get the results that that guy gets. So every time that you give in to that meal, now it's not as bad if it's calculated. See if it's calculated and you're like, yeah. It's not out of impulse, you're like, you know what? Tomorrow, Sunday, 6 PM, I'm going to get a fucking pizza. Because until then, I'm going to absolutely destroy the work that I've got to do. I'm going to give everything my all. I'm going to be high standard in all aspects. Instead of just being like, oh, you know what, tonight I want to have a pizza and watch James Bond. Like, no. Sunday, 6 PM, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch James Bond and have a pizza. But if I do not tick off my daily habits every single day leading up to that, then I do not deserve it, and I will have to postpone it until a few days after or the Sunday after. Now, a lot of you guys just have an impulse. You're like, oh, you know what? I want a packet of crisps, so I'm just gonna have it because I want it. But I shouldn't have it. And it's like, see when you don't actually want to do it deep down, you know you shouldn't do it, but you're doing it anyways. That's going to breed guilt. That's going to lower your standards as a person. Now, if it's a calculated decision and it's a reward which is tied to a task, then that makes sense and you're not going to experience guilt from it. You're actually going to feel good and you're not going to go off track because you're like, yeah, I'm just doing this. But you don't realise, guys, see, even like a half-assed workout, not going all out with your diet, not having the deepest work blocks possible, maybe not listening to that audiobook that day, not hitting the nighttime routine or the morning routine to a T, which are definitely the most important things, because these are the wins. These are the things that set you up to hold yourself to a high standard, as a high standard man. If I do everything in my morning routine, but I don't do prayer and I don't do my morning journaling, I will hold myself to a lower standard in regards for that full day. I will maybe crave a bit of junk food, which isn't very usual for me. I will maybe only give 95% in my workout, and I'll make more excuses, and I'll weaken my mind, and I'll drop down that disciplinary barrier and let more short-term instantly gratifying things into my mind. Now that you have this knowledge and you have clarity on this, that you need to hold yourself to a high standard in all aspects in order for you to not fall off, you're going to need to ingrain this into your brain every day. And I don't mean as in watch this video, I mean as in moving forward. I'm going to give you some steps. Moving forward, you need to constantly be thinking about high standards. So first of all, what I would do, look at your days, look at your options, look at your diet, look at your training, look at what you're doing, look at the types of people that you're speaking to. Maybe you were messaging a fucking hole last night and she's alright looking, well, she's like 3 out of 10 and she's easy. You get me? And it's like, fucking cut her off, because that's low standard. You are associating yourself with the lower standard version of you. That is something that the lower standard version of you would do, because she is associated with that guy. In order for you to succeed to the next level and be the best version of you, you must leave all of the things that are associated with the old you in the fucking past. You must cut them off, because that is dead weight. Any guys that you're talking to that are fucking your friends, you're meeting up with them and all they're talking about is birds. All they're talking about is football. They're judging other people. They're talking about other people. They're laughing at other people. They're showing you TikToks, this and that, things that are completely and utterly irrelevant to your goal. You need to cut them the fuck off. That's what you need to do. If you don't, if you continue to be a people pleaser, if you continue to be lazy and indulge in instant gratification all the time, it's gonna fucking kill you. By lowering your standard, it is going to kill you. How? Because it's going to affect your life, your health, the woman that you end up meeting, or the woman that you've already met, the woman that you need to lead, your kids, how your kids are going to fucking live, how your kids are already living, how your siblings are living, how your mum, your dad is going to feel. And it's like, guys, as men, our main purpose is to live for other people. It's to give our family better lives. Now, if you're holding yourself to a low standard as a man, men are more influential, men are leaders. This is what we were born to be. If you are holding yourself to a low standard, you are making it acceptable for your loved ones to do so. That's the way it is. See, when I meet with my brothers, honestly, I just raise my standards immediately. I start thinking, nah, I shouldn't swear here. Shouldn't swear. Yeah, nah, what am I doing? My posture's shit. Need to fucking sit up properly. You get me? Just even small things like that. Like, I kind of want that saucy. I kind of want that saucy little fucking barbecue chicken wrap. Like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'll get called out for that. I'll get called gay for that. And that's the way that it should be. Hold yourself to a high standard, guys. And moving forward, every morning, one of the best actionable steps to take is to genuinely just get a notepad and pen. Write down. I hold myself to a high standard in every regard. Now, you need to think about your vices. So one of my bad habits that I sometimes fall into is excessive social media checking, like checking my notifications, checking my messages, my inbox. And it's like, I just do it subconsciously. I'll write down, social media cannot infiltrate my brain because I hold myself to a high standard in every single regard. And then I'll write down, I hold myself to a high standard in every single aspect, attribute and thing which is relevant to masculine competency. Now, I know that sounds a bit autistic, but that's the way that I do it. That's the way I like to speak. That's the way that I like to operate. Now, you need to figure out what works for you. You need to write down, I hold myself to a high standard in all regards. X vice cannot infiltrate my mind. And you need to ingrain that into your mind, and you need to actually visualize yourself today putting that phone away. Say it is social media. After you've done it, grab your phone and do some tasks on your phone that need to be done. Give yourself that temptation of going on social media. Look at the social media, look at it. Look at it with fucking demon eyes. But yeah, fuck you. I'm not clicking on you. Yeah, I've got full control over my mind. I'm a high standard guy. I'm not clicking on that. Do that. Simple, guys. Hold yourself to a high standard. Now, I've helped plenty of men do this. Plenty of men change their current vices, their current habits, get rid of them and swap them out for good ones. I've helped many men become high standard from low standard. So, if you want to join the program, you want to join the team, reach out to me on WhatsApp 07835 261 491. If you want to just chat, Instagram, Tony MC Coaching. Let's get talking, let's get acquainted, and let's see what vices you're currently indulging in. So guys, hope this was of service to you. Have a good rest of your day. Stop thinking, start acting. Don't mentally masturbate over this video. Take action immediately. Stop sitting about, stop doing what you're doing. Take action.